Why did I quit films? That was the thing.
Yeah.
That was the moment. And
Where did
I
you
like
get-
films.
Where did you ever get the idea of becoming a painter?
Well, I surely didn't get it at the time I quit films, if you remember.
Then you became a master chess player.
Well, not a master, but I became an everyday chess player, and every night Figaro is still about, I don't know, 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know, just go back a minute. Something hit me as just an intuition or a feeling. Everything was going well, actually, in film. Remember, we had finished off The New Life for Lisa.
We were doing great.
The penthouse was fine. The kids were fine. Was Scotty in the...
I was pregnant.
You were pregnant with Scott.
Yes.
So we had...
But then I was always pregnant in those days.
Well, it was a busy 5 years or 4 years, that's true. No, I don't know. Everything was going fine with films. I remember one thing that happened. After New Life for Lisa, because we were up there with John and Mary, we came up with the idea of maybe doing a film on a bunch of subnormal children. In one family, there were 4 or 5, some friend of Mary's that she was dealing with as part of her social work. And I remember bringing that to New York, and I remember talking to a lot of people about getting a very minimal funding, because it was like a $20,000, $30,000 affair and whatnot, to do it as a documentary, what we'd have to do. And I ran into a big flat blank. If I had gone to enough luncheons, if I had talked to enough people, I guess something could have come through. But it just hit me that, hey, maybe we're not going to get around to doing the things that we want to do, and instead it'll always have some kind of a commercial aspect to it, one way or the other.
Oh, God forbid, we should never get commercial.
Well, you get money out of
I mean,
commercials.
we might be able to support these 5 kids.
Well, it was going all right. Life was going all right. Something told me, I remember the words, and I've used them hundreds of times since.
Men, money, and materials.
Ad nauseum.
Why did you quit making films? We were doing great. We were having a wonderful time doing documentaries.
We were having a wonderful time.
And it was a challenge, and you loved challenges.
Well, I don't know. Things were going very well. Maybe that was part of the problem. I'm not being facetious, but we had it so we were making 2 or 3 films a year. We weren't even in debt. We had the penthouse, the family was coming along, everything was fine. We weren't making the films we wanted to make necessarily.
Oh, have a little patience.
Well, New Life was actually very good. I had no bad feeling. Something at some point or other made me feel, hey, in 10 years from now, where are we going to be, or 20 years, or what are we going to be doing and whatnot? And films require, by that time I surely knew, the gruesome 3, you know. Men, money, and materials, and they really are. You deal with a lot of people, and although I can handle people, I just like stuff alone. I mean, going out to lunches with people I can't handle. I hated it, and going and try to avoid it as much as we could. The office, the setup we had in the penthouse, that got us away from uptown. We lost something by doing that. We were out of the film center, but we gained something personally. It was great. Yeah, lifestyle was great. I had no problem with that, and I knew you loved filmmaking. But you also were in the middle of having a very large family, you know, 2 down, 1 more coming up, Mark and Jim visiting. Not that you couldn't handle it, you were. I don't know. It wasn't, I had nothing in mind.
Chess wasn't the answer.
That's for sure. Chess had nothing to do with anything except maybe setting a setting and let something happen. It wasn't by design.
What happened was that we owed money to Gristides, Could barely make the rent.
After a couple of months of chess, that's for sure.
Absolutely, there were a few problems coming up.
Yeah, but I didn't know that was there in the beginning. We were even when we started. We had just finished the film. I think, what did we do?
Well, I'm very pessimistic by nature.
No.
Yes. And despite your idiotic optimism, I could see all kinds of horrible things coming up.
I really didn't have anything in mind as to what I was going to do.
That was the problem.
Well, if you're not going to quit something, you'll never find out what you want to do. It went something like that.
I knew what I wanted to do. Make documentaries. Live in New York.
And you were very good at it. And this was a real problem. Even saying it in the first place, it was a problem because I knew you enjoyed what you were doing. I knew you had found your ego with it.
Was that so bad?
And you were very good at it. No, it was good.
So?
Well, I couldn't kid myself that you're going to make films by yourself because you weren't. That I knew.
I had a few other...
Well, it's just you loved the idea of being number two, even though two knew more than number one. It made for a very nice team. It hadn't anything to do with that. That was on the negative side, that whatever I'd be doing, if I quit films, that the chances you're making films were very, very little and heavy, heavy drag. I knew that right in the beginning. Anyway, so what happened? One way or the other, it worked into playing chess for 9 months, right?
Yeah.
Daily, nightly.
I didn't like the idea. Gristides didn't like the idea. The landlord didn't like the idea.
Did we make a film during the middle of that because we got ourselves so far in a hole? Yeah.
You did one on architectures.
No, I don't think.
Yeah.
No, it was that short thing that came through from Hollander. He called up and said, "Hey, we got an extra film. Can you guys do it for us?"
The garbage thing?
Garbage. And it had to be done in 30 days.
And we did it, and we got all kinds of medals and
money.
And money.
And paid off Gristides. That was in the middle of the chess. Somewhere around 4 months in. And I got even again, almost. So that took the pressure off. And by this time you are pregnant. I don't think you were pregnant.
So then you bought a paintbrush.
No, a long way to that. I didn't dare think of painting or anything. I wasn't thinking of anything. I was waiting for it to...
I was thinking of divorce, but I don't know about you.
My baby. You wouldn't divorce me with 2 kids and one in the belly, would you?
It was either that or murder. Thought of that too.
Well, I didn't have any more idea than you did, and I knew you must be frightened with it.
I was scared to death.
Well, except I also know you're very strong. And anyway, onward and upward and more chess. Nothing came to me, and we didn't make any more films in that area. We didn't make any more films, period. And Gristides, again, was a couple of $1,000s or more, and the rent was due. I think it was 3 months' rent or something like that. And nobody could believe I was doing what I was doing. We were successful people, and I had just stopped. Round about 8 or 9 months or something, I remember the night. I came home early from chess.
And bought a paintbrush.
No, I didn't buy a paintbrush. I said, I think I want to be a painter. I think you screamed. I don't know what
Very
it was.
loud.
I don't know if I was serious or not. I just know that I said, hey, I know what had happened. The day before in the Circle and the Square coming home, I sat down and there's the usual bunch of hippies over there and whatnot, and somebody was drawing with Indie ink and sitting next to me and said, you want to try this, or so on. I took some Indie ink and I went like this or something. Literally the first stroke of drawing, I don't know where I was in school, but I don't ever remember any art classes. I don't remember touching anything. At some point or other, I remember modeling a head. It
was very bad.
You saw it?
Yes, you gave it to me.
I'm a romantic sentiment. It must have been out of
Way
eighth
back.
grade or something, and I
Yeah.
held on to it.